Simon right here, Links Armatare out of Kamloops, BC. This is my lovely assistant Jed. Let's say hi, Jed.
Hi, Jed McMillan, Links Armatare, BC.
Thank you. So, when Fiore first starts talking about what to do when someone swings a sword at your head, he does it in a very sort of natural, instinctual way. If he's standing across from me and tries to cut me and I do nothing, he cuts me. One of the most natural reactions to this is as he comes to cut me, I step back. However, I'm still threatened by his point, so we have to deal with that. So, standing across from each other, he cuts to me, I step back, we meet at what Fiore calls the first master of the Giocco Larga. Basically, our swords are crossed somewhere near the tips. So, once again, from there, first thing he says to do is simply switch sides and deliver a cut or thrust to my opponent. One of the things that makes this a little bit easier is as we do this, we're re-engaging the sword on the other side and stepping away from his blade. Gives us a little bit of extra safety space. If we're not receiving a lot of pressure against the blade, or if he begins to pull away, I can just slide down and either cut his arms or thrust him in the chest that way. Also works if he's trying to switch sides of my blade and I manage to get in there first. Not going to be doing this because we're not wearing masks. Always wear eye protection. So, a couple more, come in, switch sides, or when we're on this side again, step away from it will give you a little bit of extra safety. This is homemade mead. It's not bad for a first try. Gonna try to get it better and see where that goes. But anyway, so in the previous clip we saw this technique operating sort of in the textbook way of things and sort of like just how it's written in the manual. It's worth noting that there's it's not always how it's going to end up. Now, first off, very, very important is feeling the pressure of the other person's blade, and that's going to determine which side you go on, whether you push through on the same side as the initial contact, or you switch sides and move to the other side and continue that way. If they're applying very little pressure, you can push through. Worth noting, when you are applying pressure, you don't want to necessarily meet edge on edge square like that. If you push on the side, especially if you meet sort of near the tip and slide your blade down his, drawing almost a C shape against his blade, it'll make his blade move a lot further away, which we like. So watch for that. And if he's not applying pressure, as I said, push through. If he is applying an amount of pressure, switch sides. Because of that pressure, when you switch sides, his motion, his force is moving in the direction you want it to, and it's going to help push the blade aside, which, again, very cool stuff. So, we have that very simple entry into this technique, this sort of one-shot thing, which doesn't happen a whole lot when you're actually fighting. So what I've done is I've gone through some of our sparring footage, and I like to take a little bit of footage, a little bit of video every week in order to measure the progress for both my students and myself as well, get a sense of where everyone's at and what we need to work on. I've gone through, I found some places where this technique has been shown, it's effective, and we do it a lot, so it keeps coming up. And you'll see, first off, a couple of different entry points to it. There's one where both people kind of start in a low guard and advance in that way. There's another one where one of the people, they meet at the cross, switch sides again, as the person receiving the technique tries to regain control. And it's worth noting that with any technique we do, it's not all about that one single way of getting into it. Could be dozens of different ways of getting into an individual technique. And it's all going to be about recognizing where that situation comes in and being able to take advantage of it. And that's a big, big part of how we train, especially in class. I like to approach techniques from multiple angles and say, okay, so here's this one example of what we did today. Here's where we meet the blades near the tip of the blade. In coming from a high guard, here's it coming from a low guard, here's against a thrust, here's that kind of thing, and that's been really valuable for us. So take a look, you'll see a few different entries into this, you'll see a few different variations on it, but it's all there. Enjoy.
Good. Okay. Accurate.
So that's how we do it. That's our first technique. And like I said when I was actually demonstrating, it's a very sort of natural entry and a natural place to start. Sword's coming at me. I'm going to back up and try to get away from it. It's not always the smartest thing to do, but it works very well when it does, when it's applied properly. It's worth mentioning we're not running away per se. We are gaining space so that we can come in and deliver a proper technique. It's a great way to, as an example, buy ourselves a little bit of time. Time is very important, so we take a step back, buying ourselves a little bit of space. And against an aggressive opponent, it's a really good, smart way of dealing with it, is to kind of take a step back and re-engage on our own terms. If they're trying to bull rush you, maybe we try something different, and that's when we start getting into more of the close plays. But if they are also trying to keep their distance, then it's perfectly valid, perfectly good way of going about things. Highly recommend, if you're looking to learn this stuff, find a friend, try it out, begin slowly. Someone delivers a cut, make sure you're in distance, the other person takes a step back, defends, and covers. Yeah, I'm not going to natter on too long, so thank you for your time, and hope this has been informative for you. We'll see lots more of this kind of thing coming up in the future. Thank you.